Hi, it's Dorothy Guining with Scrapbooking Quebec. Today I'm participating in the monthly YouTube collaboration Stretch the Sketch, and that's where we usually all take the same 12 by 12 sketch and we alter it. Except in May, it's the third anniversary for this series. So Janet Fritz, she's known as Galaxy Girl Creations on YouTube. She asked us all to select our own sketch this month, so we're all going to have a different jumping off point. You're about to see the sketch that I selected for this month, which is from Page Maps. It's from January 2019. So in the description box below, you're going to find links to all the other participants, but I'll also put a link to the Page Maps site as well in case you're interested. So my plan is to take this sketch and stretch it into a double page spread, which is what you're about to see. I do this every month. And the material I'm going to use is from Photoplay Papers Cat Lover collection. And I also have 2 packs of alphas. Both of them are from Simple Stories. So really all I did in advance was find my material and my photos. So here's what's on my desk. I have 2 pieces of 12 by 12 Basil Marshmallow White cardstock. I have the sketch, and what I'm going to do is basically stretch it to the right. I have 5 photos, so 3 of them are going to be on the sketch page and 2 of them are going to be stretched to the right. Here's the paper I've selected. So in addition to the printed paper, you see I have 2 pieces of cardstock there. I have aqua as well as orange. I end up only using the orange, and both of them are from Simple Stories. I have some graph paper there. That's from an old quarantine collection from Photoplay Paper. Those are the stickers that go with this collection. I have 2 packs of alphas that I plan to use, and I'm just showing you the color I plan to use out of this book. And I did select some tools. Now this is going to be a product heavy layout, but on the sketch there is like a planner page as well as a scalloped border. So I dug into my tools just so that I could accommodate these elements. There's the planner page there. That's from Elizabeth Craft Designs, and that's the border maker system from Creative Memories. So I'm going to jump right in here and start preparing the foundation page. So you see the sketch there in the top right corner, and on the sketch there's a layered border that goes on the horizontal, and I'm going to stretch it across 2 pages. So I'm cutting down a bunch of paper here, and I'll put measurements for all of this on the screen when I adhere it to the page so that it makes sense. And like I said, I'm doing this times 2 so that it goes across 2 pages. Also, I want to point out the measurements I put on the screen are for the visual page parts only. I cut mine a little larger simply because I like to layer them up when I adhere them, but it's not necessary. And you're also going to see, you'll see it better in a minute, you just missed it there. Basically, in between that meow paper and that fishbone paper, which goes on top of it, there wasn't enough contrast I found, so I cut myself 2 more narrow strips of that blue tone-on-tone aqua paper, and you'll see in a moment how I plan to place that. And now what I'm doing is cutting down 2 scalloped borders with that Creative Memories border maker system. So I'm doing that in orange there, again times 2 because I'm doing it for the 2 pages. And then what you'll see me do is place it on the page. You'll also have a good idea why I need that aqua blue strip in between the meow paper as well as that fishbone paper. So I'm layering it all up, and you're going to see in a moment how I adhere this so that the 2 flow nicely across the 2 pages. What you're going to see is I end up adhering the 2 pieces of white cardstock together behind with a piece of washi tape, and that just holds the 2 pieces together so that they don't move when I adhere the border across the 2 pages. So what I'm doing now is creating the border for 1 page, and you can see I'm starting at the top, slightly overlapping, and just working my way towards the bottom when I finish off with that orange scalloped border. So now what I'm going to do is adhere that wide horizontal border to 1 page. I'm doing it on the left. I'm sorry, I'm doing it on the right. And then what I'm going to do is use that page with the adhered border as a guide for adhering the border on the left-hand page. I'm just lining them up with the other border parts just so that they flow nicely across the page. I also removed the washi tape at this point because a 24 by 12 canvas is really difficult for me to work with. Now you see me flipping through papers. What I'm looking for is a mat for my photos, as well as a block for the title that you see on the sketch. So right now I'm cutting down that fishbone paper, and that's going to be my title block, but you're going to see at the very end of this video that gets switched up for plain white cardstock. I ended up going with the orange cardstock to map my photos. So these measure 1/4 inch larger than the photos. So I'm going to stop the film. I adhere them all together, and now I'm placing them on the page, and you'll get an idea of how it's going to look. I'm rounding the corners on that title block. That's how they look on the sketch. And now what I'm going to do is cut out that planner page. If you look below that title block, there's a planner page there. So I'm getting out this die from Elizabeth Craft Designs. I use it all the time. So I'm going to cut out one full planner page and two kind of partial planner pages. I'm just using the scrap of that 4-inch wide block of paper to cut out those 3 pieces. And what I'm going to do with those 3 planner pages is create a visual triangle across the 2 pages. Essentially, it's going to be a guide for the eye to cross the 2 pages. So I'm going to use the full planner page on the right-hand page, and it's going to layer up under the largest photo there, and that's going to be my focal point photo and where the main part of my journaling is going to go. And then what I'm going to do is put one of the partial planner pages just underneath the title block, just like you see on the sketch. And what I'm going to do with the third one is place it in the corner in the top left. So that creates a triangle, a visual triangle across the 2 pages. And that's something I often do when I stretch a sketch. Basically, I take an element that's on the original sketch and kind of recreate it in 2 other spots to create a visual triangle across the 2 pages. It just unites the 2 pages. Now what I'm going to do is adhere all of this to the page. And while I'm doing this, I just want to point out there are a lot of sketches out there that kind of are adhered along a horizontal border, just like what I'm using here today. And when I stretch these sketches, I often do exactly what I'm doing here today. I'm taking that paper horizontal border, stretching it across the 2 pages. The photos are all the same size on the left-hand page, the original sketch. I'm bringing that over onto the right. One more photo, the very same size. So it just kind of brings your eye over. And then I finish with a focal point, kind of like a bang. And in this case, it's the planner page as well as a larger photo. And that is a technique, so to speak, that I frequently use with this type of sketch when I'm stretching it. So now what I'm going to do is embellish. So I have my alphas, the book, as well as those foam alphas. I have ephemera as well as stickers. So I have the foam alphas, the word pasta on wax paper. I know that's going to be part of my title, and I know my title's going to go in that block, but I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it at this point. So I'm creating 3 embellishment clusters, and the main one there is going to be over on the far right. I just hid it behind the sketch, but you'll see it in a minute. And then I'm going to have 2 other ones around those planner pages. What you see me doing right now is going into the sticker sheet, and I'm just selecting a bunch of stickers, mostly all of the orange cats and a few of the other things, putting them on wax paper, and then just kind of ripping up the wax paper. I want to be able to play around with placement. And obviously stickers, if you put them on a page without anything behind them, they're just going to stick to the page. So as you can see, I've got like that cat in the box up in the planner page by the top left corner. I'm creating a little grouping of cats in that bottom planner page on the left page. And I'm also creating a huge embellishment cluster over by that focal point photo on the far right. By the way, I consider that planner page, the large photo, and that huge embellishment cluster one big clump, one big element. It's the main kind of focal area. So I also went into the sticker sheet and I found 3 kind of word tabs. One says tuna breath, spoiled rotten, and I forget what the other one is. I can't read it on the screen right now. but I am putting one of those tabs in each one of those embellishment clusters, again, kind of reinforcing that visual triangle. Now what I'm going to do is start adhering all of these pieces down exactly where I had placed them. I do have some finishing touches to do, and I do have to decide on that title. But at this point, I have too many loose pieces around my desk, so I just want to adhere them, and then I will continue with the finishing touches. You may notice right there, I put one of the cats up on foam adhesive. I added a bit of cardstock behind the sticker just to reinforce it a bit so that the sticker wouldn't bend. I lost a bit of footage there, but I did the same thing to that cat that's in the cluster on the far right. Now I'm just tucking in that tab there that says tuna breath. And now I do have to come in for my title. Now originally I thought I would put it on the vertical along that photo there, but I end up putting it on the horizontal. However, all of this gets switched up because I do change that fishbone block for plain white cardstock. What I want to point out is the letter T there. I didn't have that letter T, so it's actually a letter L and then I think a piece of an X, and I fashioned myself a T, and it works really well with these Simple Stories alphas. First of all, they're foam, so they work together really well. They kind of like mend together, and because they're very straight, it's easy to create letters with other pieces, to kind of create your own letters if you're missing some. I stopped the film when I was adhering the word hello because those alphas in that Simple Stories book are so fragile. Now what I'm doing is coming in with that sticker sheet again, and I'm just looking for some small bits, and I ended up with a little banner that says Fuzzy Butt there over on the right. So because of that, it was in yellow. I wanted to introduce yellow in two other spots, again creating a visual triangle. I switched that up a bit, and in the end you're going to see the yellow cat bowl ends up in the title cluster, and the other yellow yarn ball ends up on the far right towards the top. Now what I'm doing is getting out a stamp set. That one there is from it's from Stampin' Up. It's an old stamp set called Tabs for Everything. I was just looking for a few words, so I got like do today, adorable, and happy life. And what I'm going to do is stamp those words in each one of those tabs on the planner page, and that'll be it. I only do one of them on camera, and I do the other two off camera. And all I end up doing after I finish this is my journaling. That's it. So I explained, I think, how I stretch a sketch, especially when it comes to this horizontal design. There are a lot of sketches like that, and that's basically often how I do it. I stretch the mat across the two pages, I stretch the photos across the two pages, and I kind of end it in a bang with a huge embellishment cluster and kind of a focal point, which is exactly what I did here. Now I have a fair amount of writing here for this particular layout, which may seem strange. It's my son's cat, but I obviously did the who, what, where, when, and all that kind of stuff. But I also wrote about how happy I am that both of my young adult children have developed a love for cats. And if you don't know it, I'm very much a cat lover. So it kind of makes me happy that they both have cats and they're very responsible with them. I also want to point out that photo there with the photos in the photo. There was a story behind that, and I forgot to write it. So what I ended up doing was writing it directly on the photo. And there were a lot of empty spots in that photo, so I actually quite like the look. Anyway, that's it for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to Scrapbooking Quebec, I would be absolutely thrilled if you did. Don't forget to check out the other participants. Their links are in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye-bye.